Hi, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Adding the Impact with Celine Egan and friends. And today, the amazing friend that I have here with me is Mark Hughes. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Mark so that we can kind of, you can get to know him a little bit better if you don't already know him. And then we're going to have a chat about his amazing story, his amazing life, and how he is adding incredible impact. So let's have a little listen. Mark Hughes is a notable figure in rugby league and an inspiring advocate for brain cancer awareness. An Australian former professional rugby league footballer, Hughes has a distinguished career in the 1990s and 2000s, playing for the Newcastle Knights in the NRL and the Catalans Dragons in the Super League. There you go. Primarily as a fullback or centre. For those of you who know all about rugby, you understood everything that I just said. In 2013, Hughes was diagnosed with a brain tumor after experiencing unusual symptoms. He underwent surgery, successful surgery, to remove the tumor, which is identified as a grade 3 high grade, and I'm not even going to try and say that word. It's too hard, but it's a really long word, but it sounds like it was, yes, a little bit, no, it wouldn't have been nice to leave there. Let's put it that way. Supported by his family, friends, and community, Mark embarked on a rigorous treatment journey, including radiation and chemotherapy. A subsequent MRI scan showed no regrowth of the tumor. Fantastic. A positive outcome that continues as Mark regularly monitors his health. Throughout his recovery, Mark has adopted a healthy lifestyle and focused on living in the moment, leading to the establishment of the Mark Hughes Foundation, which raises awareness and funds for brain cancer research. His story is definitely one of determination, resilience, and the power of community sport serving as an inspiration for many. Mark, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today.
Thank you, Celine, and thank you for the nice introduction. And really looking forward to having a good chat.
Oh, look, I think the thing, I got to know you because of Juice Plus, and that you've been a customer for a long time, and I'm sure that you're going to kind of cover off on that as well. But it was through that journey, because I have to say, I'm only learning about rugby. Lived in New Zealand for a little while, kind of, got into there with, who is it down in Christchurch? It is the Crusaders. Wow. Went to a few games down there and whatever, and have been to a couple of games with the Knights here. But that's probably my full experience of it.
Yeah.
But it sounds like that you were actually had quite a stellar career.
Celine, I grew up in a town called Kurri, which was 45 minutes out of Newcastle.
Yep. Very
Very passionate, very small town, great little community.
Yep.
And we just played sport. There wasn't much else doing. And so cricket, rugby league, all that stuff. And so I just struggled my way as a young rugby league player and, wasn't outstanding, wasn't the fastest, strongest or quickest or biggest, but just hung in there.
Yep.
And I went on my journey with it. I was determined. I had self-belief, and my luck turned at the age of 18, and I finally got my first opportunity.
Yep.
And by the age of 20, I was a premiership winner for the Newcastle Knights, where we beat Manly. So, life can change really quickly. I've seen it for the good and bad, unfortunately.
Yep, totally.
But this was an occasion where, for the good, I went from this young kid in Kurri, starry-eyed, to a premiership winner with the Knights in literally a year or two. It really was surreal. And my career was up and running. I was living my dream. I was happy.
Yep.
And I somehow became this professional rugby league player.
I love it because there's already a couple of lessons in there. Because if we think about it, oftentimes people see someone as an overnight success. There's no such thing. It's been years in the making. And the things that I heard there was that you were determined. You had a goal and a dream, like that. You weren't the biggest, the quickest, the fastest, but consistently showing up for your dream helped to become a reality. And that shows determination and resilience that we talked about earlier on, which was probably to set you up for what you were going to face further down the track then.
I often say that the 36 years leading to my diagnosis, I was in serious training for what was to come.
Yeah.
I was getting Clubman of the Year a lot at my club, which meant I was the guy going to the schools, shopping centres, doing everything for the club off the field that I could, immersing myself in the community. And I didn't realise the way the community was going to pay me back. But I spent a long time doing a lot of good stuff in the community, and eventually I needed help from the community, and they've all put their hand up and said, we want to help. So it's been wonderful.
I love that, because again, it just goes to show that, and you know, none of us ever do things like, you know, with this expectation that we're actually going to need it in return. You know, whatever it is that you show up for, when you get the opportunity to be able to create an impact, you just never know when you might actually need that same hand back again, or at least have built, like what you did, obviously a reputation for somebody who was prepared to show up for those who needed it, show up to be that inspiration in the schools and all the rest, and then it turned around. So tell us about a little bit about the journey. Like, how did it come about that you even got diagnosed?
So I was 36 at the time, and I was full of life. I had 3 children under 10, fit, healthy, had a full life ahead of me, and I just had headaches from nowhere. So on day 2 of my headache, my wife said, you need to just go and see the doctor. So I went down the doctor, my local doctor here in Merriweather, and he just looked a bit, he seemed tense and a bit weird about it, and said, I want to get you straight in for a scan. So literally 100 metres from here, I go for a scan. Wow. And my life changed over there. Wow! At the click of a finger. Yeah. So it's sort of haunting when I drive past there. I often think of it. Yeah. Yeah. But it was like, we need. You know, I was on my own. My wife wasn't even with me. She's been with me every step of the way since. But it was just it wasn't.
You weren't expecting. No.
So all hell broke loose, and it showed like an avocado-sized tumour in my brain. Wow. And from that point onwards, my life had changed. Yep. Within about, I think they gave it about a month to just check a few things, and then they got me in for surgery at John Hunter Hospital, and sort of hopeful that, you know, this is not going to be as bad as you think. And I was a very positive person. So I thought, this is fine. I'll get it out and play on. Mm-hmm. And then a week after surgery, I walked into the doctor's rooms, and he sat me and my wife Kirralie down, and he said, I'm sorry, Mark, you've got high-grade brain cancer. I went, wow, where'd this come from? Sorry, you've got high-grade brain cancer. Yeah. And for people at home, there's no cure for brain cancer. No. You know? Brain cancer kills more people 40 and under than any other disease. I was 36. And there's just no answers to the thing. So there I was, prime of my life, and struck down with this devastating news.
I saw a young girl being interviewed at the time of recording. We're kind of, you know, in the Olympics at the moment and whatnot. And I believe there was a young swimmer there, Australian swimmer, whose dad actually died from brain cancer. Yeah,
Kaylee McEwen is a wonderful young lady. We're very close with the family, and she's actually an ambassador of the MHF. Yeah. And the inspiration from her, like, she lost her dad, right, 5 or so years ago, when she was about to tackle her first Olympics. Yep. She still had the courage and the commitment to fight on for her family. And she's just a world-class champion, champion, and a wonderful person who performs over and above everyone else due to the inspiration of her dad, who lost his battle with brain cancer.
Yeah. And it was just, I was just kind of doing some research, and, you know, you just don't realize, because I suppose we don't hear about it enough, and we'll talk a little bit more about what you're doing about that, though, in that it is such a killer for people who are younger, like who are under 40, who are, like yourself, fit, you know, working out, doing all the stuff that you want to do, an elite athlete, basically, to suddenly, like, your life changed. Now, okay, so you went on a journey then, obviously, of treatment and that. How long did that actually go for?
So once I had the surgery, we had a plan, and that was 33 days of radiation. Mm-hmm. So I'd travel. I couldn't drive at the time, so friends and family would drive me about an hour down the road to the Central Coast, where I went to the the centre there, cancer centre. Yep. Had 33 sessions of that. So that went well. It's only about 10 minutes under it, and during that time, I'd come home, I'd do some running, I'd do some beach swimming. I really wanted to do everything I could to keep moving and try and stay fit. So I did that during that time. Then I did 6 months of chemotherapy and got through that. In that time, I started to look at things. What do I need to change? Yes. So I start looking at my diets, and what am I eating, what am I not eating. Yep. I had some history with Juice Plus when I was playing. Funnily enough, I actually I did use it for 6 months or so, and really found it good back then. So it was always in my mind. And then when I got sick again, I thought, well, I need to revisit this. So then I went straight to this, and I thought, this is part of what I need to do now in my fight back. Because good results in brain cancer are not good. I need outstanding results. So what can I do to help? Now, none of this is going to cure anything. No. But it's giving me confidence. It's making me feel good, so I can tackle and fight this thing. So it's been a journey. I got through the treatments. I made some changes to dietary. I took Juice Plus. I keep taking Juice Plus. I'm doing all these healthy things and having a bit of luck.
I love it because you actually came at it from a holistic perspective. You looked at, living what we talk about, live well, eat well, supplement well. And so, you were already doing the exercise and you made sure you kept doing that through your treatments. You re-looked at your diet to be able to make sure, because, oftentimes we were laughing off screen kind of thing. Oftentimes as athletes kind of thing, eat what you like and then try and run it off. And that as well. But actually looking at nutritionally, what does that look like? And then supplementing well, because the sad reality is that oftentimes we need to supplement what we are eating with, just to be able to get everything that we have. You've been a Juice Plus client now for, what is it, 10 years now? Yeah, 10 years. So, which is awesome, which is absolutely awesome. So on that journey, I suppose, what gave you hope? Because you're also through this, a young father. You had a wife and 3 children under 10, as you said, at the time of your diagnosis. What gave you hope in the journey?
Yeah, well, I think firstly, my wife, Kiralee, she just went to another level when this happened, and the support. And we were in hospital leading into my surgery, and I'm saying we need to do a charity. We've got to try and sort this problem out. No one's done nothing with it. No one knows nothing about brain cancer. We need to, make a difference. And the doctors and Kiralee, well, you just get yourself better. Just concentrate on that. But I'm really glad I did put some focus on that, because we need to set goals and aim high, and not just when things are going great. When things go wrong, you still need to, you need to aim. Totally. It's easy to set goals and targets when everything's going great in business. Yes. Isn't it? It's when the chips are down, you got to bunker down. You still got to set goals. You still got to strive to achieve. So I did that, and we launched the Mark Hughes Foundation, and then it just from there, this momentum was building, and people were coming from everywhere and giving us their stories, and it was heartbreaking. A lot of stories, don't get me wrong, but there was so much inspiration, so much support that I started to think about the problem rather than my personal situation. It was like I was focusing on the big picture, and it was giving my family real focus to let's fix the problem rather than be really focused on me. And out of that, I think it's just been a wonderful, and it's hard at times, the charity, and it gets not always easy, but it's been a wonderful focus and a real sense of hope for me and so many others out there now that are fighting brain cancer.
I love that. I want to kind of bring it back to you for 1 second, though, because what I really heard in there, and it is so true, that, it's all right to be able to kind of plan when everything is rosy and you have these goals and you can kind of go, you can see them. You can see them. Yeah. When you're actually in the pit of something, though, it's not so easy to see it, even though it might be there. And so actually what you did, and I think it's just so important, is you took it outside of yourself. You went, okay, alrighty, how can I use the journey that I'm on to actually be able to create an even bigger impact? And I love that, Mark, because it's just so important. We need more people like you in the world actually doing that, taking, okay, this is my circumstance. However, how can I use my circumstance to actually get out there? We have a saying in our profession, your mess becomes your message. And it's so true, because in the midst of this, that was a big mess.
Very, very messy environment it was. I'm not going to sugarcoat that. No. And, for the first month or two, I had a lot of head noise, and I was going for walks, and I'm making all these, plans and what I'm going to do, and the outlook looked bad, and we're getting some pretty ordinary information. Yeah. But then I realized that you got to be strong in your thoughts and positive, because you become that negative person if you're always thinking negative. And I was going to run this foundation. If I was kicking stones and sobbing, what good am I going to be for the charity?
Yeah.
So I decided to be strong, have positive thoughts, and live every day, make today count. I can't change my diagnosis.
No.
I can't worry too far into the future what I'm going to miss out on and what I'm not going to do and what I am. So how about I just wake up, make today count, do the best I can, wake up tomorrow and do it again. See if I can make a bit of a difference here and have a real crack at this. And that's sort of the way I've lived. And I get scans every 4 or 5 months.
Yep.
But, they're not really worrying me because I'm just focusing on each day and I'm just doing the best I can, and I'll get through that scan. Worrying about it's not going to help me.
Yep.
And then I'll get through the next one. And it's a good way to live your life.
And look, the science as well around the fact that, the more we can, it's not about, and I don't want this to sound Pollyanna to anybody who is going through anything at the moment, but the more that we can control our thoughts, the better impact we actually have on, our health.
Absolutely.
Stress is one of the biggest killers, isn't it?
Stress, that's right. You can lay on your lounge and stress about it. And, that's not, what about go for a walk and feel positive and strong and practice a bit of gratitude. I know it's hard at times, but we've got a lot to be grateful for.
Yeah.
I'm still in a fight. I get the chance to fight.
Yep.
I read the paper every day and there's a car accident here.
Yeah.
And, there's so much devastation in the world and tragedy. So I get a chance to fight. And anyone with sickness, you've got a chance to, at least fight or, know it's tough out there sometimes and it's a tough road, but, it's life and you just got to tackle it.
Yeah. All right, let's shift gears. Mark Hughes Foundation. It's not just a normal foundation where you just kind of go, it's a charity and we're raising, awareness around, brain cancer, etc. You guys get up to some really hairy things to actually raise money. I know we made some more donations and sponsored some more people last year as they headed off to base camp or something.
Yeah, so two of my ex-rugby league mates, Paul Harrigan's a very famous footballer, and Billy Peden, two of my teammates, said we need to challenge ourselves and raise money. What a great thing to do. And not only do we raise money, but the personal growth we get and the people that come with us by tackling mountains,
Yeah.
So that was the plan, and we started that, and we pay our own way, and we went to Kokoda about 7 or 8 years ago and did that. We flew in a 100K bike ride. We did the Kokoda track. It was amazing. We raised about 50 grand. Then we went to base camp, and I think we raised 500 grand. So now we're raising all this money every year, and we're challenging ourselves.
Yeah.
And we're everyday people are raising money and coming with us. And it's really wonderful. And I love being on these treks because it reminds you of like team, the importance of team.
Yeah.
Business, sporting, whatever it is. If you're as one and you stick together and you're heading in the one direction, you can achieve things that you probably couldn't do on your own.
Absolutely.
Right? And I remember, I love the fact that you're just walking slowly, nice and slow. You're not racing. You're going at your speed.
Yeah.
And in life, people go at different speeds and develop in different times, but you just put one foot in front of the other and keep going forward, and life's pretty good. And I remember a river crossing, and I'm looking ahead and worried about that, and I stumbled and fell because I'm looking too far ahead. That's what I find is good about the treks is that you're in that team. You're worrying about your next step.
Yeah.
And you're heading in the right direction. So, it's a really wonderful thing to do. We're going to Vietnam in October this year for a 600K bike ride. So we're excited about that. I've got 23 people. We're all raising money. It's really good.
It's awesome. And there are so many different things so check out the website, and we'll make sure that we actually put all of the contact details for Mark and the foundation as well, because you might think I'm not cycling 600 kilometers in bed. Yeah, I'm with you. I totally get that. However, there are lots of other things.
Lots of things people do. They host a morning tea. They do a walk. They organise dinners and balls. There's so many things, and all probably around our beanies.
Yep.
The NRL do the beanie round, which you see all the players run out with beanies. It really is special. And off that, so much support comes, you know.
Yeah.
We sell so many beanies. We've sold over 1 million beanies now.
Yeah.
You know, that's a lot of beanies.
I don't know where you're watching or listening to this one, but honestly, where it is right now, you need a beanie. So
Yes.
it's been cold, and everyone I've been talking to, I was even talking to my mum and dad in Ireland last night, and it's supposed to be summer. And it's freezing.
Yes. So it's good beanie weather.
It's beanie weather no matter where you are in the world. It's always good to have a few beanies. So check out these beanies because they are great quality. They are really, really cool. So, okay, so we raise all of this money. You know, when people are supporting charities, they love to know what happens with the money.
Yes, that's very important. And I like to tell people I'm a full volunteer. You know, I'm not, this is pure heart.
Yes.
We've got lots of volunteers. We've got 3 or 4 staff. It's simply, we have no costs.
Yeah.
Right? Now, our main focus is research because we need to fix the problem.
Totally.
That's what we need to do. We can't help people individually. It's just too hard. We need to fix the problem.
Yep.
So Professor Mike Fay heads our Mark Hughes Foundation Brain Cancer Centre at Newcastle. We have researchers right across Australia. We have biobanks which store tumours, so we're building these libraries.
Yep.
We have brain cancer care coordinators throughout New South Wales doing an absolutely magical job for families and patients. So that's our main focus, really. It's just research. We just got to find the cures. Not much has changed in the last 20 or 30 years.
Right.
And, you know, we've got lots of researchers working really hard on that. We're collaborating with other universities, doing some great collaboration in Queensland, great stuff in Melbourne, particularly. So we're very excited. My wife, Kiralee, is pushing and prodding and making sure the money's going to the right spot. We're getting the best bang for our buck. And it's getting active, getting used as quick as we can because there's people, their clock's ticking, you know. All our clocks are ticking.
Totally.
You know, that's the game we play.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that's great to know. Like as you said, Mark's a volunteer himself, and everything is about getting it to where it needs to be. And research is just so important. And people talk about it because we get the questions at times, kind of thing, because we have research on our product and whatever. Oh, you must pay for it. Somebody has to pay for research. So even in a situation like this, they've got to raise the funds to be able to do the research. There's not some magic fund somewhere.
We would love a magic wand, and it doesn't happen overnight.
No,
it's
years.
I want it to happen yesterday, but it takes time. You know, totally. So we've got all the buildings in place, blocks in place. We've got lots of research happening. We've had some good information coming in, but we've got no cure yet. But we're going to keep working. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. We're definitely believing in hope. So Mark, you make such an impact through everything that you do. And I know that you don't want to, you're constantly looking too far in the future, but what is it that is going to keep you going on this path? Because you're a volunteer, you also have a family to support and all of that. But what's your vision for this next level of impact you want to make?
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of where we're at, but I'm also it's job not done. It's great and we're doing this and that, but the real stars of the foundation have got to be our research teams because they're the ones that have got to produce the magic. There's a lot of magic in our beanies and it's magical, but it's got to happen in the laboratories. So the labs are where the magic's happening. So my wife is monitoring, checking in, making sure that this is going forward. So in the next 5 or 10 years, I really hope that we've got better medicines or better remedies so that we can prolong life for people, because some people get diagnosed and will pass away in 6 months, 8 months, 12 months. It's real luck of the draw. And for me to be here now at 10 years, it wasn't imaginable when I started. But I'm here now. I'm riding my luck. I feel fit and healthy, so I'll keep going because we've got some history to create here. We've got to sort this out. I've got to see this through for so many people. And what's heartbreaking is most of our best supporters are families that have lost their loved ones. And they've still got that courage to help us, even though it's not really going to help their family. Because so that really inspires me. To keep meeting families that want to help us and providing that hope. There's a lot of brain cancer patients out there that are watching my story, and they know I'm 10 years down the track. So I just tell them, keep chasing me, keep coming, follow me. I can do it. 10 years down the track, I've climbed all these mountains. I'm fit and healthy. So, you can do it as well. So, but in saying that, you don't need a cancer diagnosis to be living life and challenging yourself. So I'm saying to people out there, don't wait for tragedy or something to strike. Get out there and live your life. This could be the best time of your life, and you're not really present enough to really appreciate it or realise it. But, I say to people, get out the good china, the good cups in Grandma's cupboard. Get it out and have a cup of tea out of them and enjoy life, because we've got to find those nice moments in our day.
Well, you just don't know that you're not going to have literally a life-changing conversation like what you just did.
That's
like
right.
what
Things
happened
can
for
happen. You just don't know. And so, go for that walk, go to the movies, sit on your veranda and have a chat. Do nice things, because we don't really know what's around the corner.
So I think really the messages that I, heard today is really around kind of, making a difference while you can, because, be that hope, that hope beacon for somebody else, because you just never know when, you're going to need those people to be a hope beacon for you. And I know that's not why you do it, but you know what? It helps. Being part of a community that supports you no matter what, and I know that I'm blessed to be part of a number of communities that I know would be there as we kind of gather around, but also too, like, live life now. Don't put off what you're thinking. Oh, I'll do that when. So often we do that. We have that thing. I do that when I'll when I've got this amount of money, or I've got I retire, or I'm this age, or I'm whatever. Honestly, we don't know, because life can change in a moment. It really, really can.
Yeah, it's interesting, the words like, oh, I might, or I'd like to. Or we often use these words a lot. But I think it's change it to I am, be real strong. I am going to do it. I am going to do this, not just, I'd like to do this, or I might. No, you know what? I am. I'm going to aim for this. So, I think positivity in life, that outlook, it really makes a difference,
Absolutely. All righty. I've got a couple of quick questions that I like to ask people and put them on the spot.
Okay. I'm nervous.
Kind of to wrap it up. But if you had one piece of advice to give to your younger self, what would it be?
I think you can't please everyone. It's something simple that at times, and even still, I think I struggle to say no, and I get pulled around. But sometimes, you've got to say no.
Boundaries are good.
You got to have them boundaries. And I think as a young bloke, I definitely was just trying to please everyone and did my best with that. But there's times where you got to put yourself first and your family first, and there's nothing wrong with saying no. So that's probably.
No, I love that, actually. I do. Are you a reader? Have you got a favorite book?
No, I'm not. I'm actually not a reader. I don't know whether it's since I had the surgery, but I just don't seem to. I read a little bit of newspaper.
Yep.
But I've never picked up a book since.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So I don't know, and I wasn't a heavy reader, but I just feel like that could be something with the surgery.
Right.
So
It's interesting.
I don't read.
Yeah.
I like watching some Netflix and stuff like that. But I'm just not. Maybe I should start getting into the books where they read to you.
Yeah, the Audible. It's great.
Yeah.
So when I'm driving in the car, whatever like that, that's what's on. Yeah, I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch the news.
Okay.
None of that and that. So I have the Audible.
I should look at that.
There you go. Great. Do you have a favorite song or anything that you're feeling a little bit flat or you need to be motivated? Have you got a favorite song you listen to?
I'll tell you, Holy Grail by that song. When we were playing the grand final, we had a cassette tape made, and there was a few key songs on it. We played before the games. That was one that
cassette tape shows how old it is. Okay? Just like that.
So, and if you listen to it, it's a moving song, and I like it.
Yeah.
And so when I hear that, it brings back memories. And I'm, these days I'm chasing the Holy Grail of a cure for brain cancer, and I'm chasing the Holy Grail for life.
Yes.
So when I hear it, I do like that.
I love it. I love it. And do you have a favorite quote?
Favorite quotes. I remember on the back of one of our training shirts, it was, "The harder I work, the luckier I become."
Yep.
I just felt that was something that resonated with me.
Yes.
I like things like there's a quote going around about, "Don't wait for the storm to pass. You need to learn to tap dance in the rain."
Yeah.
And I've sort of kept that in my mind because there's some tough things happening around me at times, but I've managed to still be full of life and keep living.
Keep tap dancing.
And unfortunately, we all in life have these things happen, but we just got to keep going.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Well, guys, honestly, I would really encourage you to please check out, we'll put all of the resources below so that you can follow Mark, you can follow the foundation, but also just think about maybe how might you help. It could be as simple as just having a morning tea with your friends to be able to, once a year, to be able to just raise awareness and raise some much needed funds. It doesn't matter how little or how big that is. Everything goes into the pot, and the pot just kind of gets bigger when we all contribute. So, Mark, thank you so much for hanging out with us today and having a chat. It's been awesome.
Celine, it's been an absolute pleasure. I want to thank you, Mick, and the Juice Plus team, because you're such a huge part of what I call my fight back in life. And I now take it every day as part of it's not curing anything, but it's making me feel great.
Yep.
And I'm still here. So I won't be changing that. So thanks for being a big part of my life.
Oh, you're welcome. You're so, so welcome. All right. Till next time, team. Over and out from Adding the Impact.